Hello, we are live. Hi, my name is Pam Haitai, and I'm the owner of Portland.hangoutlocal.com, your local hangouts that will bring you the best businesses you can find in Portland, Oregon. My goal is to give you the latest and the greatest. Today we have Kelly Hill with Roofing Specialist Portland. Kelly, glad to have you. And our first question is, give us a little background to your business. How did you get into this business? And did you always want to become a roofing contractor?
Well, that's a good question. I don't think anybody really starts out planning to be a roofing contractor. Um, Bit strange, the experience was that I started myself needing a roofer, and family background is in construction development, and realized that there was a very low degree of quality and service with regards to getting my roof replaced. This is eons ago. This is about 30 years ago now. And the experience was so awful, frankly, that I decided there has to be a better way of going about things. And really, it came down to an issue of really communicating with the client and getting a quality work done and really standing behind your reputation, which at the time back then just was just fairly non-existent. So that was the inception. That's what kind of started the ball rolling.
Okay, Kelly, what do you think makes Roofing Specialist Portland stand out as such a great roofing company?
Well, there's three places that I think really make us fairly uniquely different. And they're not what you'd normally expect. Sure, we do, quality work. We stand behind what we do. We're very strongly financially backed. But what really makes us different is that we don't have any commission sales staff. We don't have anybody that is trying to get you to buy anything. So when we're looking at your specific roofing problem, whether it be a leak or you've got some just general questions or you actually need an entire roof replaced, we're trying to figure out how to make it work for you within your budget and to really come up with a long-term solution. And a lot of our customers that eventually do end up working with us, we're working with them for several years before we actually do any physical work on their property by saying, hey, you've got a few more years left in your roof. Why don't you try to stretch it out to a few more summer periods or whatnot? So for us, I think that's fairly unique. I don't know of any other company in our area that is designed that way. We don't have commissions, we don't have sales quotas, we don't have. So we're really aligned ourselves with, on your side, the client or the customer's side, the person who's got the problem. And there's an underlying mantra in our entire organization, which is, what would you do? In other words, if you're in the customer's shoes and you've got this issue, what would you do? And we try to give out advice and try to help in that aspect. So that's one very large area. The second one, of course, is our consultative nature, and that kind of goes hand in hand with the fact that we're not here to just make a sale. Is that we're really trying to look to figure out how we can solve the problem, because we look at everybody as a very long-term customer, because the warranties that we're issuing can be anywhere from 10 years to, frankly, the lifetime of the building. So it's the inception of a long relationship. And then the third is that we are competitive. We are, fairly price competitive. There will be other if you get a bunch of estimates, full disclosure, you will get some estimates that will be cheaper than us. And you'll get some estimates that I'm sure will be more expensive than us. So we tend to stay about in the middle. And why that's an advantage in our point of view is one of, frankly, I know that when we're doing the work, we're going to be able to financially support anything that happens after the fact. In other words, if you have a workmanship issue or a warranty issue that's 2 or 3 years down the road, we've already allocated for that, and we have money on reserve to address that. And we have a very low callback rate. We have the lowest callback rate, frankly, in the entire Pacific Northwest. But we're financially secure enough and we're financially strong enough with the proper insurance, and this is very critical too, to be able to do the project properly. And so we're price competitive for what we offer. Hopefully that answers your question. Sorry.
Okay, Kelly, question 3. As this is a competitive market, what do you do to make your roofing company so appealing to your clients?
Well, that's a great question. I think it goes hand in hand with why we have a competitive advantage, really. Is because we're consultative. We give out free advice. We talk to a lot of people on the phone and really just tell them honestly what we think. There's no pressure or push to make a sale or to do anything that requires, we're not forcing you to anything. And so by giving out advice, I think it really sets us apart. We have a tremendous number of customers who are not only insurance contractors, but also real estate agents and people that are purchasing properties. And they just need someone to take a look at the roof and give them our point of view, give them honest advice on how much life is left in it. And I think that really does set us apart. And we're able to communicate that not only verbally, but in writing, in a way that you can actually use and take and really employ, whoever else you need to talk to. So I think that's one area that we have a huge competitive advantage in. And the second competitive advantage is one that is really endemic throughout the construction industry, but we somehow have really figured out how to grab hold of it and make it an advantage, and that is communication. Nothing more frustrating than you sign an agreement and you're talking thousands of dollars in the instance of replacing a roof, and then you don't get an updated phone call, and you don't know where you're at, you don't know when they're going to get done, and things of that nature. And we really set ourselves apart in that you not only have one phone number for our office that we answer all the time, but you also have the on-site workers' phone numbers as well, so that if an issue or a question or concern comes up, you can call and talk to them. And you think that's kind of a given, but actually that's fairly unique in roofing to have that level of communication available at your beck and call all the time, because you're spending a lot of money. So those are two. There's lots of other areas, but we'll just focus on those two.
Okay, Kelly, for the last question, please give us a few tips local viewers would appreciate about getting a new roof or roofing repairs in the climate of the Pacific Northwest.
That's a great question, and we get this question, I don't know, probably 20 to 30 times daily. So um, I'll break it down. It's really simple. There's two things. The first one is that in our situation, if we have to remove any of the old roofing or tear open a hole of the roof to get it fixed, we don't ever leave it exposed, certainly not overnight. So we're looking at the weather forecast. We get the Doppler radar just like your news anchors do on your regular network television, but we also get the direct feed from NOAA. So we have really as good as we can get, accurate weather forecasting data. And with that in hand of our point of view of never ever putting the property's contents at risk, we don't tear off or remove anything that we can't cover up right away. The second part that I think really is and actually makes us different for winter. In the summer months, we'll have obviously a lot more people are planning to do home improvement work and whatnot, and so our teams are smaller, and we take a little bit longer to actually, like in the instance of replacing a roof, say on a residence. But in the winter months, what we do is we beef up those teams. We actually merge two teams together. So whereas you might have 3 or 4 people working on a roof in the summer, you'll actually have 6 to 8 people working in the winter. And it's really just to take advantage of that weather window. So we do the same volume of work. Actually, we get it done quicker when we're on site. And then, of course, you'll have a few days of rain, which we're predicting and managing accordingly. So for us, it's the same. It's just a different way of working. And the difference for the customer is whereas something that might have taken 5 days during the summer might actually only take 3 on site during the winter, because we have a bigger team that's doing more work. So that's how we address it.
Thanks, Kelly, for the great interview. I really like Roofing Specialist Portland because of their professional approach to roofing problems. If you've already used Roofing Specialist Portland in the past, please log onto their website today and leave a testimonial. You can find the website in the description box below. And if you need a great roofing company, give them a call today, 503-303-8325. I appreciate Kelly and Roofing Specialist Portland agreeing to be my expert roofer. His business will be featured on Ask the Roofer. So if you have any questions for him, go to my website, which you can find in the description under this video, to send me a question to ask on the next Hangout. I will also add you to the list to notify via email before the next invite. Once again, I want to thank Kelly Hill from Roofing Specialist Portland for being present today on our Hangout. Until next time, thanks for joining us.